Hello everyone, today we are going to solve this equation together and find x. In this equation we have 81, which is 3 to the power 4. We can write 81 as 3 to the power 4, and this is here again 3 to the power 4. We can write 3 to the power 4 to the power sine square as 3 to the power 4 times sine square. And again, here, same as before, but we have formulation, as we can see here, cosine to the power 2 plus sine to the power 2 equals to 1. So we can write cosine as 1 minus sine square, because we want everything to be similar as each other, because here we have sine square, we want sine square here too. So here we can multiply 4 to the 1 minus sine square. So we will have this part. And now we will simplify this part as 3 to the power 4 divided by 3 to the power 4 sine square. For example, if we have a to the power m minus n, we can write it as a to the power m divided by a to the power n. And now if we look at this equation, we can see here we have 3 to the power 4 sine square, and again here we have 3 to the power 4 sine square. So these are similar. By changing the variable, so we can make this equation much simpler. So we can define 3 to the power 4 sine square as a new variable, which is here is u. So now we will have u plus 3 to the power 4 over u equals 30. Now we can solve this equation and find u so easily. So now we will multiply both sides of the equation to u. So we will have u squared plus 3 to the power 4 equals 30u. So we can subtract 30u from both sides. So now we have u squared minus 30u plus 3 to the power 4 equals 0. 3 to the power u equals to 81. And as you remember, we discussed this formula before. For example, if we have x plus a times x plus b, we can write it as x squared plus a plus bx plus a times b. So this is similar to the right-hand side of this formula. So we can write it as a left-hand side, and we can make it as a multiplication, and we know how to solve it. So great. 8 plus 1 is the multiplication of two numbers, which is ab, and minus 30 is the summation of those two numbers, which is a plus b. So 81 and 30, here we have minus, so both of them should be negative because the multiplication is positive. So if we think about it, it's gonna be minus 27 and minus 3. The summation is 30 and the multiplication is 81. So great. Now we can write this equation as u minus 27, this is our a, and u minus 30, this is our b, equals to 0. When we have two multiplication equals to 0, so both of them, one of them at a time need to be 0. So for example, we have u equals to 27 or u equals to 3. As we defined u before, u was 3 to the power 4 sine square, which can be 27, or 3 to the power 4 sine square equals to 3. We have two scenarios. One of them is 27 and the other one is 3. Let's go through each of them and see what x is going to be. So we want to simplify the equation. Because of that, we can write 27 as 3 to the power 3, and 3 is 3 to the power 1. So when both 3 are equals to each other, so the power needs to be equal to each other too. So 4 sine square x need to be equal to 3, And here, for sine square x needs to be equal to 1. So in our first condition, sine square equals to 3 over 4. And second, sine square equals to 1 over 4. So we can take a square root from both sides. So sine x equals to positive or negative of a square root of 3 divided by 2. And here sine square equals to positive or negative of 1 over 2. Let's go and review what is sine and cosine is. So we have a circle by radius of 1, and this, the center of the circle is on 0 and 0, and cosine value will be on x-axis, and sine value will be on y-axis. Okay, so for example, we have this line here, and the degree of this line, for example, is 60 degree. So the cosine value of 60 degree is gonna be the number here, and the sine value of this 60 degree is gonna be the value of number here on y-axis. And if you notice, if we have another line, if we continue this line like this, the sine value of these two angles are similar to each other. And the other point is that if we continue this line here, the cosine value of this angle, it means this angle, is going to be same as this 60 degree. This is going to be 3060 minus 60 is going to be 300 degree. And this is going to be 120. So great. We just review what is sine and cosine is, and let's go and find our x in the equation. So let's go through the first one. The sine x equals to positive or negative of a square root of 3 over 2. For example, this is our square root of 3 positive one, and this is our square root of 3 negative parts. So because this is sine, so this is our y-axis. So square root of 3 over 2 needs to be on y-axis. There are important angles that we should know the sine and cosine value. For example, sine value when equals to a square root of 3 over 2, x is going to be 60 degree or pi over 3 radian. And because this is a circle we define for cosine and sine value, if we go around 360 degree again, so we're going to exactly same point that we were. So we can continue this. Because of that, each point that we find is going to be our root plus 2pk. By 2pk, k means how many times we go around this circle, and 2 pi is our 360 degree. As I explained before, here is our sine value. So we have two different degrees to be equal to this sine value. One of them is on this side of the figure, and the other part is on the other side of the y-axis. So both of them have equal sine values. So this is gonna be 180 minus 60 degree, because here is 60 degree again. It's gonna be 120. If we measure this part, it's gonna be 120, and 120 based on radian is gonna be 2 pi over 3. And then, as I said before, we will have infinite number of roots, because here we can go around the circle many times and add the degree value by 360. So great. By now we found the x value for sine x equals to positive of square root of 3 over 2, which these are our roots. And the other one is sine x equals to negative of the square root of 3 over 2. So here, if we have negative square root of 3 over 2, this is going to be our angle. It's going to be this side, which is going to be 360 minus 60 is going to be 300 degree, or it's going to be 5 pi over 3 radian. And plus 2 pk, because as I said, we will have infinite number of the roots because we can go around the circle as many times as we want. And for the negative value, again, we will have another root, exactly the other side of our y-axis. So the angle is going to be this one, and it's going to be 4 pi over 3 plus 2 pi k. So for the first root, which was sine x equals to square root of 3 over 2, positive or negative, we found 4 different sets of answers for x. Now we need to go through the next one, which is sine x equals to positive or negative of 1 over 2. So this is one of the angles that I said we should know the sine and cosine value. So the angle for 1 over 2 is 30. Sine equals 1 over 2. Here is 30. And 30 based on radian equals to pi over 6. And again, as I said before, we will have infinite number of the answers, which is going to be pi over 6 plus 2 pk. And k can be any integer number. For example, can be 0. It's going to be pi over 6. Can be 1. It's going to be pi over 6 plus 2 pi. And we can continue. So because we are on sine axis, we will have another set of answer, which is 5 pi over 6 plus 2 pk. And because sine can be equal to negative of 1 over 2, we will have 7 pi over 6 plus 2 pk. And again, here we have 2 other sets of answer because here this line and this line sine value are same. And the angle here is going to be 11 pi over 6 plus 2 pk. And these are our set of answer for sine x equals to positive or negative of 1 over 2. And these are our set of answers for sine x equals to a positive or negative of the square root of 3 over 2. I think this question was a little bit difficult than the other one that we solved before. I hope you understand it and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching us. See you soon.